For weeks, multiple insiders have been hinting that Prince Harry is trying to gently repair his relationship with the royal family. Nothing dramatic, no big public statements, just small, careful steps, the type of moves someone makes when the situation is sensitive and the world is watching too closely. Writers covering the royals say Harry is in don't rock the boat mode. He's thinking through every decision, thinking through how it will look in the UK, how it will look in Hollywood, and how it might affect the long-term relationship with his father and brother. But this strategy has a problem. When you overthink every move, you eventually trip over your own feet. And that's exactly what may have happened here. It begins at Serena Williams' baby-to-baby charity event. Harry and Meghan attend. No issues, no drama, just a normal high-profile LA evening. But later that night, they make a second stop. Kris Jenner's 70th birthday bash. A list crowd, wall-to-wall celebrities, dozens of cameras, and of course, the Kardashian-Jenner media machine that if you love real, respectful royal updates, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to UK Celebus. Your support keeps these stories coming. Captures everything. Photos start circulating from inside the party, including one featuring Meghan posing with Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian, and Khloe Kardashian. A huge moment for Hollywood watchers. A massive crossover between royalty and the Kardashian empire. But then something unusual happens. A short while after the images are posted, they're quietly removed. Not blurred, not edited, not updated, deleted, and instantly the internet reacts. Why were Harry and Meghan removed? Did something happen? Was this Meghan's choice? Kris Jenner's choice? Someone else? According to multiple reports, the request to remove the photos came from Harry and Meghan's side. And here's where things get complicated. Royal commentators claim the timing of the party was the problem. It was the night before Remembrance Sunday, one of the most solemn moments in the UK calendar. A day the royal family honors fallen soldiers. A day where optics matter. And according to rumors, the Sussexes may have worried that being photographed at a Hollywood party right before such a significant moment would look disrespectful. So instead of letting the photos quietly exist, they removed them. But this, according to experts, was the actual mistake. Because removing photos sends a message that something was wrong, even when nothing really was. And experts are calling it classic overthinking that backfires. Hollywood insiders have jumped into, and the conversation is loud. Kris Jenner runs her brand like a Fortune 500 company. Everything is strategic. Everything. If you love real, respectful royal updates, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to UK Celebus. Your support keeps these stories coming. Everything is curated, and everything is, quite literally, content. So when party photos get deleted because of someone else's request, people notice. Some fans worry Meghan unintentionally sent a message of rejection. Others suggest it made things awkward with the Kardashian-Jenner circle, especially when Meghan has already been rumored to have powerful enemies in the industry. It doesn't mean Kris is mad, but Hollywood is a place where tiny gestures can feel like huge statements. And this one felt strange. Royal columnist Jane Barr said something very important. Attending a glamorous Hollywood party before Remembrance Sunday is not a scandal. Even senior royals attend high-profile events the night before solemn occasions. The issue wasn't the party, it was trying to erase evidence of the party. Barr says the deletion made everything feel unnecessarily dramatic, confusing, and suspicious, even though there was nothing wrong with simply being there. In her words, the couple made an unforced error, a moment we're trying too hard not to cause controversy, accidentally created one. Then came Bethany Frankel, who has been unusually accurate in reading Hollywood royal crossovers. She said Harry and Meghan are stuck between two worlds. Hollywood wants them fully. The royal family wants distance. The public wants authenticity. And the couple wants to please everyone. But when you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. Frankel said the deletion was a perfect example of the Sussexes being caught in a no-win zone. If the photos stayed up, people judge. If the photos come down, people judge harder. It's a lose-lose situation. What this small moment shows is something bigger. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are still figuring out who they are in the public eye. Are they global philanthropists? Are they Hollywood players? If you love real, respectful royal updates, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to UK Celebus. Your support keeps these stories coming. Are they semi-royal influencers? Are they building a brand? Or protecting a legacy? Right now, they seem to be pulled in every direction, and the pressure is showing. Some say Harry is tired of trying to appease both sides. Some say Meghan is trying to elevate her Hollywood presence, but keeps running into unpredictable optics. Others believe they're simply overwhelmed, and every decision feels high stakes. But in the end, this wasn't a scandal, wasn't a betrayal, wasn't disrespect, wasn't drama. It was just a miscalculation. A moment where trying to avoid attention created even more of it. This whole situation could have been a moment forgotten in minutes, but because of one careful, overly strategic decision, it turned into headlines, speculation, and confusion. And it reveals the truth. Harry and Meghan are still learning how to manage life between Hollywood, royalty, and public expectation. They're still navigating an impossible balance between image, identity, and legacy. And they're still facing the challenge of trying not to disappoint anyone while living under a microscope. Sometimes the smallest choices tell the biggest stories. No one in Hollywood doubts Meghan's charisma. No one doubts Harry's iconic name. But insiders keep asking the same uncomfortable question: where do they fit? Not quite actors, not quite influencers, not quite royals anymore, not quite activists in the traditional sense. They're orbiting all these worlds, yet not anchored in any. And that uncertainty shows up every time there's a misstep, like the deleted photos, because people expect clarity, consistency, a clear brand direction. But right now, insiders say their brand feels fluid. If you love real, respectful royal updates, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to UK Celebus. Your support keeps these stories coming. Reactive and overmanaged. Even small social media decisions feel like they're being run through a dozen filters and ending up diluted by the time they're approved. And Hollywood doesn't like confusion. This industry loves bold. It loves confidence. It loves people who know exactly who they are. The Sussexes are still figuring that out, and the public can feel it. The biggest issue wasn't the removal. It was what the removal suggested. To Hollywood, it looked like insecurity. To royal watchers, it looked like guilt. To critics, it looked like strategy gone wrong. To fans, it looked like something was being hidden. But the truth is far simpler and more human. People close to the couple say Harry is extremely sensitive about remembrance events. He served, he lost friends. He carries those memories deeply. So the idea of being photographed at a glamorous event right before honoring fallen soldiers made him uncomfortable. Not because of optics, but because of loyalty. So he likely thought taking the photos down was the respectful thing to do. But the internet never sees respect. It only sees evidence erased. And social media turns normal decisions into narrative. The moment the photos disappeared, UK tabloids exploded. Columns shifted from Meghan's Hollywood rise to accusations of being image-obsessed, calculated, overreaching. But this is where the real twist lies. Royal correspondents privately admit something the public rarely hears: when the Sussexes go quiet, the British media loses content. When the Sussexes make a small mistake, the British media gets content. This situation was a gift, a perfect headline generator, not because the deletion mattered, but because it could be framed as if it did. And that gave the story longer legs than it deserved. People underestimate just how carefully the Kardashians curate their public circle. Every collaborator is deliberate. Every photo is strategic. Every relationship is leveraged. Meghan appearing with Kris, Kim, and Khloe was a massive moment, one that signaled a new Hollywood alliance. So when the photos vanished, it sent messages Harry and Meghan weren't ready to. If you love real, respectful royal updates, Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to UK Celebus. Your support keeps these stories coming. Fully claimed that alliance. Someone in their camp feared the optics more than the opportunity. This isn't betrayal, it's hesitation. But in Hollywood, hesitation can look like inconsistency, and inconsistency is a branding nightmare. There's already quiet talk in entertainment circles about whether Meghan's team is overly cautious, and whether that's slowing down momentum, especially because the Kardashians are the opposite of cautious. They thrive on visibility. Deleting a glamour party crossover moment is the exact opposite of their strategy. Multiple entertainment reporters have suggested something interesting. Meghan's long-term vision is very Hollywood-focused. Harry's long-term comfort zone is more global humanitarian. These aren't conflicting goals, but they do require different optics. Hollywood wants the glitz. Philanthropy wants humility. And when two worlds pull in opposite directions, something always ends up caught in the middle. This time, it was a photo. Next time, it might be something bigger. Away from the headlines, insiders say something else is happening. Harry and Meghan are exhausted. Not physically, emotionally. Constant scrutiny, constant judgment, constant over-analysis of every move, every handshake, every expression, every outfit, every appearance. Imagine checking the internet and seeing millions of people picking apart your decisions, your intentions, your relationships. At some point, you stop living naturally and you start living strategically. That's when mistakes happen, not because you're sloppy, but because you're scared. And experts believe that fear, not scandal, is what fueled the photo deletion. Fear of misinterpretation, fear of backlash, fear of another optics disaster. Ironically, it caused exactly what they wanted to avoid. This situation didn't blow up because of drama. It blew up because the world is watching the Sussexes with an intensity they've never escaped. And part 2 reveals the deeper truth. They're still learning the game, the Hollywood game, the royal game, the global public image game. And these games have very different rules. If Harry and Meghan want true stability, they will eventually have to choose. Do they lean fully into Hollywood? Do they rebuild royal ties? Do they create an entirely new lane? Or do they keep navigating the blurry middle, where every small decision becomes a headline? Because right now, they are everywhere, and nowhere at the same time. And that uncertainty is becoming its own storyline.